one of, if not the most important part of Soldier is being in the right position at the right time. So how about you? Are you in the right position at the right time? Well, if not, check this out because this might help. But we're going to go over Route 66 on offense in its entirety. If you guys like this video, be sure to let me know with a like or a comment or something. If you don't like the video, still tell me somehow. Comment something mean, dislike it, I don't care. But if you guys like it, then I'll continue to make some of these because I really do enjoy learning about Overwatch. Alright guys, so whenever it comes to positioning on some place like Route 66, chances are in competitive games, very few teams will actually set up anywhere in here. Most teams will set up on big Earls over there. So as a DPS player, a Soldier, I guess a Genji, a Hanzo, pretty much anything, and you're probably going to want somebody to come with you just to be sure that there's not something like a McCree ready here to just flash and unload on you. So we usually have the Zarya and the DPS go up here, and then once we figure out that this is clear and there's nobody in there and everybody is up there where they most likely will be, they could also be down here, which is kind of a bad position, but I mean, it happens at times. So what you do is you want to come up here and you want to be poking at the enemies from here. You want to be very careful. You want to do whatever you can do to be hard to hit and just constantly be a nuisance up here so it splits their view from the rest of your team being down there and then you're up here. Then what you're going to want to do is once you start forcing them back a little bit, you can jump down here to join your team. Chances are is what they're going to do is they're going to jump off the back of Big Earls and land down here and start to contest the cart. So what you can do at that point, a very good move for you to do at that point, is to immediately take the high ground, especially with Soldier or McCree. Genji, you're going to want to do a little bit of a different maneuver with him, but you're going to want to come up here and you're going to want to use these columns, I guess. I can't think of the name. Stalactite, stalagmite. Which one comes from the ground? Anyway, you want to come over here and use these for cover and poke down on them again. So you're splitting their attention from your team down there, so they're trying to hit you up here. Also, you want to always have the high ground as much as you possibly can. In Overwatch, positioning is pretty much everything. I mean, yes, aiming comes into play, yes, team cooperation comes into play, but if you're out of position, you can't really make the plays that you need to make for the position that you need to make, or the position you need to be. So for example, Reinhardt shouldn't come up here. The whole team shouldn't come up here. The reason why is because then you won't really be pushing the cart past probably like here, because you'll be too far away from it. Right, so you only want your DPS, one, maybe Anna could come up here too, or something like that. But you want to be very careful. You want to prioritize people on the high ground also. You want to force them off the high ground, but you have very good cover up here. They have the sign, but you can actually shoot down on top of their entire team. So you have to be vigilant of what's going on around you, especially if somebody is coming up here to flank you. So the way that I usually like to position with Soldier is either here or about in here, so that if I take too much damage, I can move over here, yet I can still see what's going on right there if somebody's coming to flank. And then same thing for here, you can shoot down and somebody can come in to flank from here and you can still see them. Chances are is if somebody does come in to flank here, you can probably kill them or at least notice them and do what you need to do before they get to here. This is a good couple of feet. Obviously, if it's a Roadhog, you're going to hear them coming, so you do want to be smart with your actions. You know, if you hear a Roadhog coming and you don't see him, chances are you might want to move from here to something like here and just kind of keep an eye, because you can still keep this like sliver right here so you can see if there's a Roadhog there, you're going to know that he's coming, and then continue to shoot and be vigilant there. After the cart's been pushed to about after the cart's been pushed to something like right here, or after it's already hit the checkpoint, that's whenever you want to drop and join your team. You just want to drop from here to here and then come in. You don't want to necessarily run down here because you can get killed by somebody in here. Again, that McCree. The McCree can kill pretty much any squishy very, very quickly. So from there, you're going to come on down here. That's going to be checkpoint. There's two ways that you can go depending on how your team wants to play this. You can either take high ground over here and start poking down on people. The other solution is the one that I usually tend to do, is just stay with the cart, follow it through, have your Reinhardt set up in front of it, and then continue on this direction. They're going to be on high ground if they're smart, so the best place to be is right around in here, from here until probably like here-ish, because you have a large amount of cover. They're also going to be vigilant of that. If they aren't, then you should definitely exploit that by coming over here and splitting their attention between the cart and a couple of flankers over here, or just a Soldier or just a McCree, something like that. Somebody who has who can handle their own over there on that side so that they can split the attention, because that's huge. So the cart's going to come in here. Make sure that you watch over here, because some people like to kind of flank in that area, especially with their ultis, especially if it's something like a Zarya, because everybody will be focusing here. They want to split your attention to here. So what they'll do is they'll fire Graviton Surge, and then the team will flood in and wipe you up. So you continue around here. Whenever it comes to this bend, the enemy team usually has a ton of advantages because they have all of this right here. So what you want to do on this is you have to somehow find your way to the high ground. You might want to have some people flank around and come up here so that you can at least contest from over here, from here, you know, so you still have cover, but you can still fire down on pretty much everywhere, and you can't get sniped from many places, and just have people move along these walls as you move it, because that's going to help a lot whenever people are pouring out of here, like everybody knows they do. Especially at low levels. People love to trickle in at lower SR games. So you just want to finish it out by following all the way through here. This area, about from right here on, is kind of a pain because that ledge is really, really over there. So what you're going to want to do is you want people to be kind of set up to kind of guard that. A better place to be, I think, would be either right around in here, kind of so you can use the door as cover, but you can still watch all of these doors and kind of peek them really quick if you need to, and call things out. You can also come over here, and you have another view at, again, that place, and then whenever they run out of there, you got that, and then you can hear them coming through here, and you have the ultimate high ground on them, so they're going to have a very, very difficult time shooting you. Whenever it comes to people who can actually get up here, this is a great place too, because again, you have your vision on that, and you have the high ground over everywhere else, whereas right here, you're kind of level with that, but you have high ground there and there. So that's very good. But so if you can get up here, get up here. If not, I like that area just because it offers a lot of vision, and a lot of people don't expect you to be there. And you're not gonna, Roadhog's not gonna be able to come out of this thing and just hook you as long as you're conservatively placed. As long as you're placed here, you're in really, really good hands. Now, obviously, if you're like this, Roadhog can run out, hook you, and that's it. But you should hear Roadhog coming from a mile away. So, right, cart goes through. Depending on who you're playing, you should follow the cart. If I'm playing soldier, usually I'll try and kind of peek this door and make my way up to here. Call out what they have, where they are, where they're set up, if they have something cheeky going on over there, and then move along up to here. Because you have the health pack here, so you're in a very good spot. You can start to kind of poke out at people and see what's going on. You have two options. I personally like to come up here before I go over here and then take this high ground. You can also come over here. It's a little bit more open, and you have a little bit more danger, but you want to kind of grab this high ground. Keep in mind this is for soldier more than anything. Soldier or McCree. Actually, soldier. We'll say soldier because this is a little bit risky for McCree. McCree can't heal himself, or he's not self-sustaining, right? So you can be in here and you can shoot down on people, and you want to split their attention. That's the biggest thing that you want to do, right? So you can come over here, and I mean, like, as the payload's going, you want to constantly be moving up into new spots, into new areas, and these things kind of make it easier to do that. Obviously, let's say you're here. You can sprint and jump over to here pretty easily. So you want to kind of be in this area, right? You want to always be on the high ground. If not there, if you can find your way over to here whenever the cart's here and you're on that final leg of the push, you want to push in up here or over here. I find those two are the absolute best ways to get up here, or the best ways to get the high ground in these areas, and it kind of flows and it makes sense the way that you move around here. Not to mention you have a massive health pack there. There's another health pack just through there, so you're in good hands. And whenever you're on the high ground, you can always kind of lean back, because if I sit here, look, nobody can really see me except for people who contest my high ground, which I have high ground over here. On the people over there, but they can kind of shoot me from there, and then if people decide to come up here, they can get some shots on you. But if you're on that last leg, if you're right here and all the fighting's going on right through here and you need healing, there's nothing wrong with backing up, because chances are if you have an Ana, which you should have an Ana, she's going to hit you from back there, or maybe a bit closer depending. But she's going to want to, you're going to want to be able to be seen by that Ana, but not by anybody else. So that's a big thing right there. One other thing that you could do, right? One other thing is whenever they're not expecting it, say the cart's about there. Say the cart's about there, it's getting close to the end, your team's doing some, say an Earth Shatter goes down here, and there's not much to clear it up with, you can actually kind of come around this side, because anytime there's an Earth Shatter or a Graviton, people focus super hard on that Earth Shatter and on that Graviton to make sure that people don't die. That's where, you know, cooldown's going to be blown, right? So what you can do is you can kind of start to flank out. Sorry, I should have destroyed this before. But you can kind of flank out and start to see everybody here and start to pick off, or start to at least put damage into the healers, if not get some picks. Again, cart's about right there, so you're in a really good position if you're around here. You're obviously out in the open, but if this is you want to do this whenever the other team's super focused on the cart. Whenever something's happened and they're not necessarily looking around for where the soldier's at, then you can kind of sneak into here. If you have your visor, you maybe can coordinate with your Ana and get a nano visor in from the back line, because it's going to do a lot of good things. People aren't going to know where it's coming from until they're pretty much dead, because nano visor melts people. But in this last, I guess you could call it the last third of the map, you can actually do quite a bit of wacky strategies, I guess I would say, just because of how tight knit it is all throughout, and how you know, how many boxes there are, how much cover there is. There's one set path to the place, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff over here. You know, there's a whole bunch of side rooms. You can get kind of crazy with what you do, but you know, just make sure that you practice it, and just make sure that you know what you're gonna do and what you're looking for. Make sure that you know who your primary targets are, and kind of go in that order. Obviously, you know, if you swing out here and they're like right there, you know, you've got a couple of healers or a soldier or something like that, you want to go for the healers first and then go for the soldier. But if you pop out here and there's a McCree right there, or there's a soldier right there, there's nothing wrong with just taking out that soldier and then moving back if you have to, or if you can stay but know when to leave. You know, I mean, like, if you start picking at this guy and you don't kill him pretty quick, he's going to turn his attention to you. You have to assume that he's going to start getting on comms and saying, hey, there's a soldier flanking. Hey, there's a McCree flanking. Not necessarily McCree. McCree doesn't flank too well unless he's doing a high noon or a Genji or a Tracer or whatever you want to flank over there. They're going to say it, and there's going to be more than just one person looking at you now. So you better kill that first person, and then if there's time, or if you have the opportunity, start digging into more people. Again, it splits the attention. That's what you want to do in Overwatch, because very few teams in Overwatch are going to have the discipline to commit what they need to the frontal push, as well as commit what they need to take care of a flanker, especially if it's something like a Genji. If a Genji flanks, teams usually overreact a lot, especially if he ults in there, because he can do so much damage to the backline that almost the entirety of the team, including the Reinhardt, will sometimes kind of come over. What they should do instead is they should kind of push back a little bit and give up a little bit of space for the cart so that they can deal with the Genji and then re-engage the fight over here. Because if they can kill the Genji before the Genji kills someone, then they're up a man, and then it makes that meter that they lost worth it. So that's my opinion on it. And then obviously you push it and you win. So I hope that is actually really helpful. I hope I made some sense in there. I hope I wasn't too wrong on the things that I said. I honestly started this video to talk about positioning in Overwatch overall, and then I ended up just talking through this entire map of where I would want to position on offense, and how I would want to break everything down. Anyway, guys, I am somewhat new to Overwatch. I study the game constantly, and I absolutely love the game, but if I messed up on anything, please do let me know in the comments. Better ways that you would rather go through things, better ways that most people would rather go through things, or pro teams, because I have seen multiple pro teams go through this entire place, and this seems to be kind of the general consensus of what they like to do. You know, most of the team down there, somebody flanking around to poke, you know, somebody flanking from there to poke, something like that. You got to split attention in multiple planes in order for things to work out really, really well. But you have to have a really, really good player for that one person to survive there, for that one person to survive from coming over here, from shooting down here. You know, high ground helps, but it's not going to do everything for you. Anyway, guys, if you liked the video, drop a like. You know, please subscribe if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment letting you know how I did on this, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you think I'm an absolute idiot for saying this is my strategy. You know, let me know what you guys think. I really do want to know, because I love getting better at Overwatch and I love learning about the game. So anyway, until next time, guys, I will see you later. Peace.